another round of the high-level dialogue. He was hoping to get the views of Representative Miroslav Lančák, the President of Serbia Vučić, and Prime Minister Kurti. And as always, there will be just statement by the High Representative, and we will take no questions. High Representative.
Thank you, Peter, for this introduction, and good afternoon to everybody. Today we hosted the leaders of Kosovo and Serbia for another high-level dialogue meeting. Our last meeting here in Brussels was in June, and it was occupied by the crisis in the north of Kosovo, and this time we focus on implementation of the agreement on the path to normalization, which is key. It's key for taking the normalization process forward. In our meeting in May, I had to call on the parties to move from negotiations to implementation. And this message is now even more important, because it has been a year, a full year, since we started discussions on the agreement on the path to normalization, and 6 months since we met in audit to finalize it. In audit, the parties agreed to implement all their respective obligations, their commitments, stemming from the agreement and its annex. The agreement and its annex. They agreed to implement it expediently and in good faith and without any obstruction. 6 months later, only 3 elements have been addressed: the declaration of missing persons, the presentation of the management team statute for the association community, and the announcement of the joint monitoring committee. But the implementation of the most important and substantial points has not yet started. And this is very regrettable. And it speaks volumes about the parties' true commitment to normalization of relations, or rather, the absence of it, the absence of commitment. Allow me to say that each party is being judged by its own merits. Lack of action by either party means that both Kosovo and Serbia are in direct and serious violation of their dialogue obligations and in breach of their promises. Back in May, the management team presented their proposal, the proposal on the statute for the association community of Serb majority municipalities. And more than 4 months later, nothing else has happened. Instead, we are again in a cycle of tensions and daily escalations. We came back from agreements to escalations. The establishment of the association community is an old obligation for the parties, and it has always been a key element in the normalization process. And therefore, it is crucial that the negotiations on the statute finally starts with no further delay in the context of the implementation of the agreement. From our side, I, as facilitator, with the extraordinary support of a Special Representative of the European Union, Miroslav Lančák, we have applied repeated efforts to facilitate a compromise on how the implementation process would look like. The two parties started from opposite ends. Prime Minister Kurti wanted political aspects of normalization first, while Serbia wants to start with the establishment of the association community before engaging on its obligations. And that's why we propose what we see as the only possible compromise today, a process that would allow these two run in parallel. One first, The other first, let's work in parallel. This is the best compromise that we could offer. And moving implementation in parallel would ensure that the core principles, namely that you have to do something in order to get something, is fulfilled. And the European Union and the wider international community, including our American partners, see this as the only realistic way the implementation can work. Both need to have guarantees that their actions are rewarded with counteractions by the other party. This is the way we look for a balance point in a negotiation. And today, I tried with Prime Minister Kurti and President Vučić to find solutions in a way forward based in our proposal. Unfortunately, after quite a long meeting, Prime Minister Kurti was not ready to move forward and start a credible process towards establishing the association community. He insisted instead on formalizing de facto recognition as the first step. I have to say, President Vučić accepted the European Union proposal for implementation of the agreement. He came with another proposal, but finally he accepted our proposal. And we tried hard, but unfortunately it was not possible to bridge the differences today. I also have to inform that there were no progress on the escalation of tensions in the north of Kosovo. As a reminder, all 27 European Union member states, all them together, have asked in non-uncertain terms for concrete steps to resolve the current crisis. Some steps were taken by Kosovo, and we welcome them. Some, but they failed. They fell very short of meeting the request made for a full escalation. Today, we again urge both parties to take immediate action in the north of Kosovo to de-escalate the situation, to avoid any further destabilization, and to enable new early local elections to take place immediately. We cannot sit and wait for the next crisis. This has to take place immediately in line with the request made by the European Union and the broader international community. Let's talk about the path to early elections. The early elections can go either through resignation of the mayors in the 4 Kosovo Serbs majority municipalities in the north of Kosovo, or through the collection of signatures of the Kosovo Serbs to recall the mayors. Either they resign, either there is a collection of signatures to recall them. Let me also clarify in this respect that the European Union sees resignation of the mayors, who have been elected by only 3% of the population, as the fastest and best way to enable an early elections. The other procedure, looking for signatures, is lengthy and uncertain. Kosovo Serbs are expected to show constructiveness and engage unconditionally in the electoral process. They have to participate, otherwise the full exercise will be meaningful. And I welcome the assurances I got today from President Vučić in this regard. If there is no progress on the elections, the risk of new escalation will continue to loom over the implementation of the agreement and through the broader normalization process. Since March, we have a very good agreement that provides a clear framework on the way forward on normalization of relations and bring tangible benefits for their citizens, if the agreement is being implemented. I am sorry to say we are running out of time. At the end of the day, those who suffer more for the inability of their leaders to stay true to their words are the citizens. And this is particularly worrying in a moment when the European Union is so clearly moving forwards an enlargement. Both President Vučić and Prime Minister Kurti declared that they want to be members of the European Union, a union that is built on partnership, on compromise, on good neighborly, on good relations between neighbors, and the vision of a better future for all citizens. And I have to remind them that the path for both Kosovo and Serbia goes through the dialogue. There is no way around it. There is not another solution. Without normalization, there will not be a European future for either Kosovo or Serbia. Kosovo and Serbia are risking to be left behind when other regional partners are moving quicker towards Europe. I think it's now finally time to take the process forward and to show that Kosovo and Serbia can live together in peace and be part of the European family, a family that overcome so many confrontations in the past and learn to live together in peace. I want to thank my special representative, Miroslav Lajak, and all his team for their excellent work in such difficult circumstances. After this meeting, Miroslav and I, we will inform the member states and we will decide together on the way forward. Thank you.